from Governor Andrew M. Cuomo. In the time of COVID-19 pandemic, be socially distanced but spiritually connected. And this one is from March 23rd, 2020. Of course, all comments are turned off, but I had no choice but to highlight this one specifically because, of course, while we know, and a lot of us knew at the time, that it was all completely false and phony, fake, totalitarian, tyrannical nonsense, the one thing that the establishment literally came out and said, yeah, that was arbitrary. We don't know where it came from, even though it obviously came from somewhere. Somebody has to know something, but that's a little bit of a different story. He wants to talk about being socially distanced. So it was real at that point in time. And also, you'll notice that it switches from coronavirus to COVID-19 because we all remember when the image went viral of a Lysol can and it said coronavirus on the back, and that's when it, really started to collapse. But now the more scientific term of COVID-19 is being used, and he's going to tell us about being socially distanced, which I guess thought was real at the time, and they had to put stickers all over the grocery store and the subway platform. Now we know for certain that it was arbitrary, but he's going to, I guess, tell us why we should obey this. Kim Kardashian did the same thing.
Hey guys, so today is the first day that I'm having someone from the outside come in to my home. It's my mom, social distancing, and we are sitting 6 feet apart having lunch together. We went on a walk 6 feet apart, and it really did make a difference to get out. We just went in our backyard, and now that it's not raining, but I just want you guys to still be encouraged that social distancing is definitely the way to go and what is going to really make a difference here to get us over this curve.
Oh, we should be socially distanced. I'm at my mansion with my mom and she's sitting on the other side of a long regal table because we're so scared. I'm sorry, I'm getting triggered. That's a different story.
I said, don't be reactive, be productive, be pro.
And I guess this is, before we get started here, I guess this is before Nipplegate and Ventilator Gate and the poster and the book and all this stuff. Still early days here. Was I even March 23rd? Was I furloughed from work at that point? I think I was furloughed from work like in the last week of March or something. So it's really starting to heat up, get spicy now.
Proactive. Few people have said to me afterwards, well, what did that mean? Happens to me often. Look, this can go on for several months, okay? Nobody can tell you, is it 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, but it is several months.
Yep, it's indefinite. And just know that I'm going to have complete control for the foreseeable future, quite literally until I am forced to resign for an unrelated reason.
We all have to now confront that is a new reality. That is not going to change. You're not going to turn on the news tomorrow morning and they're going to say, surprise, surprise, this is all now resolved in 2 weeks.
Yep, and that, of course, I knew that from day one. It was never going to happen. They were not going to come out and say, wow, that was really weird. We can all go back to normal. And 4 years later, they still haven't done that. They're still talking about, you go onto the New York City Healthy Instagram account, and they're talking about, wear your mask, get a vaccine. It's just absolute insanity. And I knew, that there was never going to come a day where Fauci or any of these weirdo Dr. Scarf, Burks or whatever her name is, was going to come out and be like, I'm glad you guys cooperated. It's been a month and we can all go back to normal now. That was never going to happen. And here he is admitting that because he wants to have control for as long as humanly possible.
That is not going to happen. So deal with this reality. Understand the negative effects of this, which I've spoken to personally because these are personally negative effects. You don't feel them governmentally. You feel them personally. You feel them in your own life. And don't underestimate.
Your whole thing is government. Your dad, your brothers in the media, it's all government. Right? To use a dated cliche term, This is a lizard person, bro. He knows nothing about actual humanity. He knows nothing about real authenticity. All he knows is political power.
The emotional trauma, and don't underestimate the pain of isolation. It is real.
Yep, and this is a follow up from. I mean, there's so many of these videos. I skip 3, 4, 5 of them and then get to the next one. But I had to stop at this one because socially distanced. But the thing is, he is telling you how bad it is and then just rubbing it in like, as though they're not the ones who have foisted this on everybody. Oh, it's so bad, right? I mean, it feels bad, but it's okay, right? We did it to save you. I mean, it's just the manipulation is just through the roof here. It's so painful to watch. It's like a train wreck. You want to look away, but you just can't. Here I am, about ready to watch all of these and relive the nightmare that was Andrew Cuomo, only to now realize that his replacement was actually worse. Same thing with little brother Fredo on CNN. They put I don't know who replaced him, but it is hard to believe that there was anybody worse than these two people. But this is the work of the regime.
This is not the human condition. Not to be comforted, not to be close, to be afraid, and you can't hug someone. Billy and Steve walked in.
Yeah, all those things we foisted on you, they're terrible, right?
Today, I hadn't seen them in months. I can't shake their hands. I can't hug them.
Yes, you could have. You 100% could have, but you pretended, and your little brother, of course, having you on the news doing your Q-tip prop comedy bits and him faking his entire quarantine.
All right, here it is. The official re-entry from the basement, cleared by CDC, a little sweaty, just worked out, happens. This is what I've been dreaming of, literally for weeks. My wife,
I couldn't hug them. Yes, you could have. You chose not to do any of that. It said it's all so terrible, and then doubled down on why what we did was. It's just. I guess there's just the levels of manipulation, as I've mentioned several times before. They do something bad, tell you they did something bad, and then want to relate to you. Oh yeah, it's terrible, but we just had to. You did not.
This is all unnatural. My daughter came up. I can't even really give her the embrace and the kiss that I want to give her. This is all unnatural.
You absolutely could have done all that. You were just pretending you weren't going to do it because you told other people not to do it. But then, of course, your own brother couldn't keep up that facade.
And disorienting. And it's not you. It is everyone. It's the condition. And we are going to have time. And the question is, how do we use this time positively? Also, at the same time, we have to learn from this experience because we were not ready to deal with this. And other situations will happen. Other situations will happen. And let's at least learn from this to be prepared for the next situation.
The next situation. And this, of course, is the beginning stage. Well, New York was probably always fairly communistic, I guess. But, fast forward, okay, you got to get the forced pharmaceuticals. Oh, you got to wear the mask. Oh, you got to show the paperwork. We're going to take Donald Trump's buildings. Oh, we're going to cancel rent. And we're going to do all these executive orders, which was just, of course it was unnatural. He's telling you it's unnatural, but wants you to believe that he just had to. You know I love you, right, baby? That's why I do this, is because I care about you.
I'm walking from this. Ow! What the hell, dude? I'm knocking some sense into you, Dennis. This is all you got. Ah! Dude, why do you keep hitting me? Don't talk back to me. Okay, sorry. Look, I'm gonna get you out of this. It's you and me against the world. I'm not gonna let anything bad happen to you. Promise? I promise. And hey, I don't want to hit you, baby, so please don't make me, okay? You're my one and only. You gotta do right by me, okay? Okay.
As as dramatic as this one has been. Also, finding the silver lining, the positive.
The positive, would that be the $40 million you have control of?
Life is going to be quieter for a matter of months. Everything will function, life will function, everything will normal operations. There won't be.
That's just not true. There were people standing outside of Trader Joe's on little pieces of tape. It was not functioning properly.
Chaos, the stores.
Oh yeah, and this was March 23rd, still before the world knew the name George Floyd.
Will have groceries, gas stations will have gasoline. There's no reason for extraordinary anxiety, but it is going to change. You won't be at work. You can't.
Oh yeah, so there's no reason for anxiety, but we are going to upend your way of life.
You can't be sitting in restaurants. You're not going to be going to birthday parties. You don't have to go to business conferences on the weekends. There's less noise. You know what? That can be a good thing in some ways. You have more time. You have more flexibility. You can do some of those things that you haven't done, that you kept saying, oh, I'd love to be able to. I'd love to be able to. Well, now you can.
Yeah, name one, because you probably told them they weren't allowed to do that. There were people getting arrested for going to the beach by themselves. That was in California, but they were trying to stop literally everything. So can you tell me one thing that you were going to allow people to do that they weren't going to be able to do if they had gone to work, like on a normal day?
You have more time with family. And yes, I get family in cramped quarters can be difficult. But it's also the most precious commodity. For myself, this young lady, Cara, is with me. She would never be here otherwise. You know,
This is just so painful to watch. And when you look at this, it kind of reminds me of Letitia James taking interviews and trying to speak very regal and professional. I will not be bullied. Donald Trump must pay.
I cannot be paralyzed by fear, and I cannot allow anyone to bully me into silence. And I cannot allow anyone to have a chilling effect on the work that I do and this office does each and every day. I put my head down and I go to work. And I do not respond and will not kowtow to bullies.
It's the same thing. You know, it's going to be difficult, but there's a silver lining, and you're going to be with Bro, give it a rest. These people, I mean, here it is directly on Andrew Cuomo's own YouTube channel. But did you think that it wasn't going to be, on the record? Did you think we weren't going to be able to look back and watch how insane this was? It looks even crazier now in 2024 than it did in 2020, as I was literally living through it. And I don't know, maybe we'll get to it, but he may or may not even talk about the fireworks. I don't know if people remember that. The fireworks in the Summer of Love, which ironically were the same exact fireworks used in Seattle to set up the Chaz, but that's another little sort of conspiratorial thing that I don't have concrete proof on, but something was very strange there. And there was also all of the fireworks trash around the testing facility in Flatbush, Brooklyn. I mean, I could go on for days about how wild this was, because when I thought everybody knew, I realized that most people, or a lot of people, hadn't even left their house and they didn't know what was going on.
I'm dad, right? The last thing you want to be when you're in Cara's position is hang out with the old man and hang out with dad and hear.
Nobody wants to hang out with you, bro. They were suing you because you were too handsy with the workers at your office. And of course, that was why you got fired. Well, that's why they said you got fired, but I think it was something completely different. But nobody likes you, bro. What are you talking about?
Bad dad jokes, They'll come for the holidays. They'll come when I give them heavy guilt. But I'm now going to be with Cara literally for a few months.
He's trying to be relatable. This is just so painful. Why am I watching this? Why do I do this?
What a beautiful gift that is.
I am re-traumatizing myself like E. Jean Carroll. Remember her? She had to relive that traumatic scene from Bergdorf Goodman in 1989 or whatever it was. And then she goes on the media circuit to relive it all, just like I'm doing right now.
Right? I would have never had that chance. And that is precious. And then after this is over, she's gone. She's flown the nest. You know, she's going to go do her thing. But this crazy situation is...
Yeah, I wonder, does she have any thoughts on why you stepped down? Or why they claim you stepped down? Maybe we'll get there. Maybe we'll learn a little bit more about what Kara has to say about that.
Crazy as it is, gave me this beautiful gift. So one door closes, another door opens. Think about that. And as I said, normal operations will continue. As I've said from day one, the level of anxiety was not connected to the facts. There is no chaos. The net effect, many people will get the virus, but few will be truly endangered. Hold both of those facts in your hands.
Okay, well, I guess that's fair enough. So, in the early days here, he was kind of saying, he said it in a previous video, that it's kind of like the flu, but we're going to shut down the world because of it.
Many will get it. Up to 80% may get it. But few are truly endangered.
But that doesn't matter. We're going to shut down the entire city and the state anyways.
And we know who they are. Realize the time frame that we're expecting, make peace with it, and find a way to help each other through this situation, because it's hard for everyone. And the goal for me, socially distanced, but spiritually connected.
I'm figured out.
This is wild to watch, because at this particular point in time, and I don't know if he knew, I don't know what was going on behind the scenes, but we now know. And it wasn't even, I mean, we've known for two years now that social distancing was completely fake, but here he is, telling you to be socially distanced, but spiritually connected. Wow.
How do you achieve socially distanced, but spiritually?
Absolutely wild, spiritually connected. And yeah, this guy, of course, he does have the old catcher's mitt vibe. He looks like Kramer in that Seinfeld episode where he's been smoking too many cigars. But it's just absolutely insane to watch this. And this is him early on. This is him well before he starts screaming about ventilators, well before he starts making extra mandates in the New York State pause and all of this stuff. On March 23rd, 2020, it's going to get so much worse. And one might argue it's still getting worse before it's, going to eventually, I hope, knock on wood, let's pray, gets better.